All right, this one I'm going to throw over to Reed as well because it's talking about intelligence. Is threat intelligence one of the areas in cybersecurity that might require less programming skills? I'm not a big fan of coding, but Intel sounds pretty interesting. What do you think, Reed, as a former intelligence guy? Is important?
Just coming from the intelligence background, right? So I had mentioned that I didn't have the technical chops when I originally got to my first duty station. Intel school for the Air Force is 6 months, give or take. So I went down to Texas, went up to Fort Meade, and then went back down to Texas for another 5 weeks. So if you can be comfortable with a diamond model and like understanding really basic security concepts, pretty much work as an intelligence briefer based on your ability to analyze data and put the puzzle pieces together and deliver that. I would say a really valuable skill, regardless of whether you're in IT or whatever other career field, being able to communicate with people and be humble enough to ask questions when you need to get information is probably one of the most valuable skills just in general professional life. To go a little bit further, if you are looking for a threat intelligence position, we've already hammered this home. Look at the job requirements and the job tasks that you might be required to actually do. I've looked at some of those positions before, specifically for like open source intelligence, and a lot of it does require a bachelor's in computer science because oftentimes when you're looking at malware and trying to break it down and analyze where it comes from, if you're not comfortable looking at a debugger and actually breaking the code down for C plus or Python or JavaScript for like your open web app attacks, like you're going to be hamstrung because a lot of people, what is it? FireEye is one of the largest companies, correct? All of those other large threat intelligence companies, you're going to have those technical chops, and often it does tie directly into being comfortable with a coding background. However, if you go on to Code Academy and you start creating your own portfolio and say, hey, look, like I'm not the biggest fan of coding, I'm more of a soft skills person, then you might be able to market yourself a little bit better. But yet again, it all comes back to your interests and building up your resume. Be that motivated self-starter who can create their own portfolio and then sell themselves to not like the devil on your shoulder, sell yourself like, oh, give your soul up, but be aware of what they're looking for and then market yourself appropriately.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say is it also depends on where you want to work, right? So I used to work at the National Security Agency, at the NSA up in Fort Meade, and I will tell you they work as teams. So not every Intel analyst knew how to program. In fact, I would say it was probably pretty rare that an Intel analyst actually could program. And so what happened a lot of times is they would pair up somebody like me who could program with somebody like Reed who knew intelligence, and we would work together. Now, ultimately, they would love it if we could combine the two of us and we had the brain meld and you have somebody who knows the intel and knows the programming, and that's going to be at a higher level.